everyone, this is the Bearded Xeno, and this will be my much belated review for the NECA Aliens Power Loader Deluxe vehicle. Yeah, if you see my top 10 figures of 2015, this was number 2, so you already know that I love this very, very much. I just never really got around to reviewing it. I bought it, stuck it on the shelf, and then it just kind of slowed my mind, because it's just kind of naturally blended in, fighting the Queen over there. So I felt like it was just always part of my collection, I guess. And I just somehow always forgot to review this thing. But let's go and take a look at the packaging real quick. Unfortunately, my box is a little damaged. Got it FYE, so you know it's just how you have to take it. It says the Power Loader accommodates most 6 to 7-inch figures sold separately, so you do not get Ripley with this. And see, it includes alternate hands for Ripley to control the thing. Just going to tell you right now, they might as well not have bothered. They don't work very well. I'll explain why they don't. It's not an issue of the Power Loader at all. It's not an issue of the actual figure itself. The hands, they go on properly. It's the joint. We'll get to that in a second. But there you go. Pause, read if you want to. Top of the box shows that. That looks amazing. That's what you buy this to put it up against there. I will say a lot of people have some misconceptions about this size of the package, because this and the Queen is the exact same price, and the Queen and the Queen's box are much larger than this. But this is movie accurate, and I personally think that all the detail and articulation is in this to warrant the price. So let's go ahead and get in a little closer. I might have to actually break and go handheld. Yeah, I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, so I gotta go handheld, so I apologize if it gets a little shaky, but as you can see, here is Ripley inside of here. She looks absolutely badass. Let's go ahead and go over the figure in general. Let me just go ahead and put this up here. And I keep saying figure because this really is a giant action figure. It has all the joints like an action figure. I'm not going to move them because I have it in a very specific way. I'll get to that in a second. Oh, we'll get to them hands in a second. Trust me. But, this does articulate. I can articulate this no problem and see that. I will say one thing off the bat. These are a little loose. They do like to flop around. They do hold very well on their own, but like if you move around, these are going to flop down. So that's something you got to be wary about. Like, see, that one fell down all the way over there. It's no big issue. They don't fall down on their own. But if you start moving the figure around, they're going to just start to slide down because they're just held by friction. You see I bumped that one there. But I think if they were a little tighter, they'd be risk at breaking. So that, I would rather have them be a little bit loose and hold than have them snap, that's for sure. Look at all the detail on this thing. I mean, we all know NECA. We all know how awesome they are with the detail. But look at this. Look at all of the weathering on this. This is awesome. Oh, look at that. That looks so good. The weathering right there with that silver. That silver looks fantastic. Oh, I'm going to knock them over. And let's go down this way right here. You can see all these cables. We'll get those in just a little second. All these little pistons and everything, they work. That's how the figure articulates, which is awesome. Get a knee joint right here. The hips are on a ball joint, so that they can, pretty much go with the range of motion of the ball joint. There is one piece of articulation that this is lacking. I don't think the actual Power Loader had it, so it makes sense for them not to have it here. Wow, this is really shaky. I'm just going to set this down. There's no ankle pivot that I can find whatsoever. And to get it in more dynamic poses, it really needs ankle pivot. And it looks like it kind of would have it with the pistons. But I can't get it to work. I don't know if mine's just frozen or not. So let me know in the comments down below if yours actually has ankle pivot. Like I said, I don't think it had it in the movie. But to get it in more dynamic poses, you would need that. I mean, the way I got it right now works just fine. But, like if you want the legs spread out right here, it's going to be very wobbly. So basically, you got to keep the legs kind of close together, which is the way it was in the movie. So you can't really knock it at all for that. But, just look at the detail on here. It looks fantastic. Let's go ahead and flip over around the back. And no, I'm not trying to name my superhero team. Look at this wire right here coming down here. We'll get to that, where that goes to in a second because that's a really awesome wire. But look at all these wires back here. Look at these. These are all nice and bendable and pliable. They're not really going to get in your way. And that looks fantastic. Yeah, it's so cool looking. Just look at all the weathering back here. See, that's where your money's going here. It's not just for the size. It's for the buku amount of articulation and the weathering and paint detail on this. It's fantastic. And you can see back here. So nicely done. And we'll flip it over here to the side. It's pretty much just a mirror image of the other side. See, that fell down while I was rotating it. Okay, now you're going to make it. There we go. But, yeah, see all this paint detail in here. Looks very, very nice. Like I said, all those pistons do work. Now, we're going to look around at the front of the figure. You have this light right here, and that is one thing that I saw mentioned in a few reviews and everything that I agree with should have lit up. Should have been a battery compartment, and that thing should have at least, you know, had like a little light in it to make it glow, maybe pulsate. I'm not quite sure about rotating. Is this still worth the price? Yeah, it's absolutely worth the price for sure, just to have a power loader and have it be this nicely detailed. But, you know, this is $100, and there is a light there. I wish that light did light up. You know, this is, you know, comparable to a Hot Toys figure, as I guess you could say, in terms of detail. It's like Hot Toy figure shrunk down. Of course, the Hot Toys version of this, if this ever comes out, it's going to be 6 times the price. You know I'm going to get it. It's aliens. I'll have to get it. But, you know, I guarantee you that if the Hot Toys ever does release that, that will light up. But I don't think it's too big of an issue because like, that's just like a gimmick, pretty much. It's nice to have, but you're not going to have it on all the time. So you can't really knock the figure for not having that, because if you had it on all the time, you would go through so many batteries, nobody would ever do that, ever. There's like a nice cloth mesh up here, and it's like stylized a certain way, so it always looks like that, which is fine by me. But yeah, it feels really nice to the touch. The seat back here is like a rubber, so it's nice and flexible, so like putting her in and everything, it's no big issue at all. And this is what that red and blue wire goes to. It's the flip down like torch that she uses this, to get the queen off her face, which I love. They didn't even have to have that in articulation, but they did, and that's awesome because nobody's ever really going to use that. Somebody will probably use it for like one photo, and that's it. So it's nice that they added that, and you know, proves that it is a premium collectible because it has all these bells and whistles. The handles do slide down this track right here very, very easily. It's awesome. But the big issue with this whole setup, and it's not an issue with the power loader at all, it's these hands. These are not ideal for putting them on this whatsoever. As you can see, that one's not even really in there at all. I'm cheating that one. This one I did manage to get in there. But you really cannot get these hands on these pegs and then have them on the handles. It is not impossible. You have to find the right balance for the pose and then stick them on there and hope that they stick on. It is such a pain in the ass to get these on there. And I haven't tried it with the stock hands that come on there, but you know, they're not gripping hands designed specifically for this. But, you know, this hand over here is a cupping hand, her left hand. So that might actually work out better for this. I'm not quite sure. But I've managed to get it on there, and it looks pretty damn good the way I have it. Whoa, hit it with the camera. Okay, there we go. Ah, shit, I did get a breakage. There we go. Can't tell. The antenna broke. I'll have to glue that. No big issue. I'm going to hold it now. But look at that. That's just not on there whatsoever. And I think I mentioned this in my review of the actual figure. Oh, man. My antenna's bugging the hell out of me now. Those hands. They really just do not like to stay on those pegs. And it's not an issue with those style of hands, because the Alien Tripoli had them as well, and I don't think they have that kind of issue where they like to pop off. I do wish that there was a hinge. The hinge would make this so much more easier if there was an actual hinge in there. But also at this size, because these are a smaller feminine form, like the actual hinge would be smaller than normal, so you could be risk for a breakage there. So that's maybe why they didn't go that way. Look, that one fell out. Oh god, that's not good. Now you see what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about. These hands do not like to stay on. Now I'm gonna have to fiddle with this, and I'm gonna have to glue that back. I'm so pissed. Like I said, it's not an issue with the power loader. It's an issue with this Ripley figure. And the Ripley figure on its own is fantastic. It's just those hands, those hands don't work. They don't work, and that's a huge bummer. Like I said, you can make it work, but you just gotta keep it in a very specific pose. I understand why they went this way, and I appreciate the effort. It just didn't work out. But other than that, this is a fantastic piece. A very fantastic piece, and you should have this in your collection. Be warned. I've also seen where some people are having trouble getting the seatbelt on her. That's just the way it goes. It's smaller scale. You're gonna have a tough time getting little pegs in there. So those are little pains that you're gonna have to deal with to get this. But as collectors, we're used to stuff like that before, so I don't think that's a big issue at all. But those hands, that's really the big crutch here, is those hands. They just do not like to stay on the pegs. So I'm gonna wrestle for like an hour just to get the hand back on the peg, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Anyways, I've been Repeaters for Click Entertainment. If you have questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments down below. I'll see you in the next video. I think I forgot to ask the question, but yeah, whatever. Let me know what you think about this power loader, and I'll see you in the next video.